Okay.
Oh, we started.
Hi everyone, yeah. We started.
I'm going to turn them off.
No, I'll keep them on.
Okay.
Keep them on. Yeah, so hello everyone. We're going to talk about Conehead, the next project that is coming out next week. Don't know yet exactly what day, but you're hearing it. These are these little.
Sound project.
It does actually sound a little, like what you would hear kind of in the when you step outside somewhere and thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also light reactive, so.
All right.
So if you did it outside.
I guess later maybe we can have just one of them, and then we
you
play
can't
with
really hear them amongst the din and all
all right. We maybe that's enough.
Oh, sure. Don't worry, they've got switches.
So hi, I just got back from holiday, back to HQ, and had a good quite a few days away in Israel, and we had a small meetup over there and met the very nice Boldport club members from Israel, and it was great to sit next to the ocean and chat about electronics and the club, and hear their thoughts and learn. Basically, I mean, every time we do these sort of things, I learn how people perceive, because it's a lot of times it's kind of, there are people on Slack that give feedback, but most of it, we have 500 members. Most of it, it's kind of a one-sided thing, and it's good to hear things that people might not write. So that's been great. And there was one thing I wanted to say about that, but I forget now.
Meanwhile, it was tipping it down here. Miserable.
Oh yeah. The weather you're talking about. Yeah, we missed that. But today is nice.
Yeah, you brought the weather back with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. And we're building the kits, the Conehead kits. This project right now should be ready, everything to go sometime next week, and we're going to talk. So we're going to do this kind of shorter video of talking a little bit about the project, how it's going to be sort of presented, what led to it, and then you're going to do another video today. Later on today, putting it all together.
Yeah, because there are some things that might be a bit tricky to understand. It's quite good to make a video.
I think.
See what?
Yeah, the last few videos, the build videos and the talking about the electronics, I got some pretty good feedback that people find them useful, and I think it's a good thing. Maybe we should have started with this earlier, but it's a matter of the setup and the timing.
Yeah.
To do that, but from my perspective, it's another aspect of interaction with the kids and with the projects, and people getting people excited about building the project, and it's all kind of together with the community and so on. So the plan is certainly to continue doing these kind of videos.
Yeah, it's also incredibly hard to convey some things in text.
Yeah.
Like just earlier today, I was trying to write some stuff up about it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
to.
It's great as also as a reference. If somebody says, "Well, I'm not sure, I'm not," you know,
Yeah.
and then you go, "Well, there is. We've done a video. It's not the only way to build it, but if you're hesitating,
Yeah.
there's a way to you know, there's something to follow." But of course, in just today, we've had quite a few contributions to the community site, which is community.boldport.club, where the community members submit their own builds and pictures, and there's wonderful new pictures there now by the club members, and certainly all of that combined gives some different experiences with the projects. Right, so we want to start. It's called the Conehead.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a fourth in a series of insects, right? With the lady. Let's just go to the other view.
Yeah, it's good.
Oops, what's going on?
Stuck.
There we are. So that's the Conehead.
Assembled.
Yeah, so that's the component side, and this is the sort of the, what do you call it? The beautiful side.
Yeah,
the good side. The good side. So
yeah,
it's kind of the.
it's like, oh, is it a cricket? That's all that circuitry.
Oh yeah, right. There's a cricket.
Yeah.
So there's, get the exterminator, but oh no, it's just electronics.
Exterminator.
What
do you exterminate crickets? Oh.
No, isn't that what you call people? You have an infestation of no,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Do you call it something else?
No, would you exterminate the crickets in your garden?
Well, not in the garden, but if you have like
no, it's
thousands. If it's like
a
no, I don't know if specific about crickets. Did I offend some animal here?
Yeah, me. I'm really upset.
No, I mean if you have
them.
this, if you have like 1,000 of them in your bedroom, you'd call a professional, right?
Yeah.
And those I would call an exterminator.
Okay.
Right? It's not the T-1000, but it's somebody with some.
No, no. Yeah. I was just joking.
Right. Okay. No, so yeah, right. So we're saying, oh wow, this is a weird looking cricket.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not real.
Yeah.
It's actually
such an authentic replication.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it is the fourth in a series of. Oops.
Yeah. Sorry, you're showing something.
This is the lady, right? The first one from the club, and then
with the monarch.
The monarch. That's the third, and then.
I got the wrong way.
Yeah, and the second is the gent, which is.
Yeah, so they all sort of follow the same
chameleon,
trend,
right? So yeah, the lady, the gent, the monarch, and the conehead.
Yeah, so they all follow the same sort of trend. You do like the idea is like legs.
Yeah, the legs being part of the circuit.
Yeah.
That's a sort of in the series. It's a given.
And there's a few sort of common ideas and themes that run through them. Like this light sensor on this one is the same as the one on the Conehead.
Right.
And I don't know. These both have red LEDs.
We have. Sorry, I might have missed because I was reading something. Reading a comment talking about the components being.
Soldered onto the surface.
Yeah, so it's like through hole components soldered.
Like surface mount through hole.
Yeah, which is it's convenient because it's easier to handle. So part of the planning of the project, you don't want to have two consecutive projects be surface mount because some people are sort of building themselves up to it. You don't want to frustrate that process. But this is a kind of combination. Besides, you don't want to create holes on the beautiful side, on the presentable side. So you see, there's no holes.
They're sort of compromises for keeping a side clean.
Yeah. So and these are pretty much as easy to solder as a through all. Maybe not. Maybe just a little bit more tricky because you have to bend the wires. But
it's good practice for moving surface mount.
Yeah, it's sort of an intermediate.
Maybe I don't know.
And then there's the element of these antennae and tongue, or do these in the Conehead, the actual Conehead, does these function as anything?
No, that would have been nice, but
no, I'm talking about the real one, the animal, the insect. What are those antennae? Do you know?
I feel like the difference between a cricket and I probably don't have this right at all. Some of them use their antennae as rubbing. I don't really know, and some use their back legs to rub, to make the sound. It's all, as you know, you'd be.
I don't know. That was botany, random. We didn't prepare for this.
Insects. I'm not an expert.
No, me neither. I'm sorry. I couldn't even.
Someone on Twitter was talking about locusts. I think that's a grasshopper. I have no idea.
Right.
This is a cricket.
It's a
whatever
cricket,
that makes it,
and a species within the. Is it species or a variant? Or what do you? I don't.
So I on this circuit. I actually worked in reverse.
Okay.
I started with the circuit because I quite like the idea of taking this series and then adding sound, making something that makes a sound instead of light. Because there isn't a lot of sound projects in the Boldport Club. Yeah,
I think there was. I think it's Stringy
and Piss Off.
And Piss Off, both of which were collaboration projects by someone with other people, and they were very elaborate projects and very very good projects, particularly because of the contribution of the other whoever we collaborated with. And but yeah, you're right. There's not much sound because I don't. I'm not in that world so much, and and you've been doing synthesizers and things.
Well, my electronics experience started in synthesizers because I wanted one and I couldn't afford it. So yeah, this is kind of like a really crude synthesis of a cricket sound, which is basically a bit like FM, frequency modulation of an oscillator. Mm-hmm. To get that sort of rub, when they rub their legs, it kind of makes an oscillating sound that kind of goes up and down really fast.
So I remember you simulated it first, and so we have a simulation, and
I have two simulations. I've got an actual sound synthesis simulation and a literal circuit.
And that's going to be available on the website.
Yeah, and in the GitHub.
Great. So I think it's so nice to have the project, the simulation.
Yeah.
Because part of what I wanted to... Am I fighting with that? Part of what I wanted to create with the projects is that with each project is that people, they might build it, put it aside. It's nice.
Yeah.
But and that would be the end of it. That's okay. Mm. But if people wanted to say, hey, how does this work and stuff, that there is a path through the experience with the project to go and discover more, and those kind of simulations, and the circuit being there, you put a scope on it, and you're going to supply the circuit, and also it's a bounded project. It's not like a microcontroller where you'd have to have a programmer and understand to program it and understand the code and all that. It's just this is it, right?
It's an analog circuit with digital gates, but it's using analog domain sort of
and the chip here these are Schmidt trigger.
Inverters.
So that's it, and I really like
used
those
in an analog way.
I really like those self-contained projects that if somebody wants to, and then we are planning to, like I did for Pips, that you'd make a further video on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be making a video on how it works, and I've also got this special. You can't see it on there. I've got this circuit, which is a bit like a strange.
It's like a post-mortem.
Post-mortem. It's
cause of death.
I can show you how to sort of modify it.
You're like it's like you're artificially
I
connecting
said
things to
botanist,
it.
but I meant the opposite. The one that for insects, where they take them and put little pins in them.
Yeah.
But
No, but you're sort of resuscitating it through the breadboard. You know, just giving it pumps of life.
yeah, but I've made it really modifiable, easy to understand. I've put, if you see here.
This is the prototype, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but it's the same. There's capacitors, and you can play around with the frequencies, things like that. This
is the one, right? The actual one. I think we changed it a little bit. There is there's a markings. There's more markings, and the text is slightly better, isn't it?
It changed, yeah.
Yeah, it changed a little bit, but it would be easy to modify to whatever frequency you might want.
It kind of demonstrates slightly old ideas of making oscillators with gates and stuff. Probably from the time when it was really expensive to use op amps and things like that. It was kind of inspired by probably an electoral project, but I used a different method for making oscillations and stuff. But I'll go into more detail about that.
Because I remember you experimented with a few methods. So some had some disadvantages, and the Schmidt trigger one seemed to be.
It was safer, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll go into detail about that another time. When I'm doing the next video, the technical video.
Good.
Yeah.
So you touched on starting with the circuit, right? So you're like, okay, it's a cricket sound. Now we need to figure out.
Yeah, I was actually as a grasshopper sound.
Right.
And I went and looked up interesting grasshoppers, but then I noticed the Conehead cricket, and I thought that was a funny name.
Right. It fits with the gent, the blah blah blah. So the cricket.
And it's quite hard to tell differently. Unless you're an expert, it's hard to tell what all these different species are. Right. It's got a very funny face, so that's kind of like the basis of everything. Like this.
But if you search the Conehead, you get the.
I think it's a number of species. Yeah.
No, but first you get the film.
Oh yeah, Coneheads.
The Coneheads from the 90s.
With Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I think it was Saturday Night Live.
Oh, it was a sketch that went really far and turned into a movie.
Yeah, one of those. There were quite a few of those in the 90s.
Yeah. I remember it.
But I remember I was a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers at the time, not so much now. And they had this song, Soul to Squeeze, that sort of came on the heels of Under the Bridge, which wasn't at the time, well, that's a total tangent, but it wasn't at the time, the Under the Bridge wasn't characteristic to the rest of their songs. It was much funkier in the late 80s, early 90s, and then so it came the sort of easy listening song, this Soul to Squeeze thing. So I remember that from there. I never seen the film. I don't think probably not very good.
I think I've seen it, but I can't remember it.
Well,
one of those films.
That means it wasn't very good.
Yeah, or it's just on like TV.
It's been a while.
TV when I was young.
Okay, enough of that.
The sticker is sort of based off that funny idea. It had orange eyes. Well, I was going to use an LDR for the eyes because they're nice and orange. The problem with LDRs is they're not. They've got weirdly. There's not a single one that I could find that wasn't hazardous. It's boring, but
no, it's the
ROHS.
But I think this worked out nicely. Nicer because
we went with the a photo transistor, which does exactly the same thing. It limits the amount of current. Well, not exactly the same thing because LDR is a resistor. Yeah. But this this is a diode that limits the current depending on how much light's going through it.
I think it looks much nicer as the eye.
And then at certain angles you can see a little dot which actually kind of matches with the concept of the funny eye. Can you see it there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we also went through very different iterations of using a piezo or a little speaker.
Yeah, but the speaker also, I think, came out quite nice. It comes with its own adhesive
and cables coming off. Yeah,
so that's quite good.
And you don't even have to cut them to length; they're ready, the right length, and you just stick them in.
And the label we've done on
it's like recycled paper.
Yes, or ash paper. I think it was. I don't know.
It's not even recycled.
It might be.
Yeah.
I chose it somewhat randomly, and it came out really nicely.
If you look underneath, it's got like a texture.
Yeah.
So it gives a really nice texture. Oh yeah, it kind of matches the silkscreen, which is I sort of based off photographs I found on Google. It's got like a nice speckledy finish to it. It's a real challenge. Well, it was a real test of the capabilities of the board house. See what little tiny dots you can fit randomly onto a board.
They didn't remove any, right?
No, we were kind of a bit worried they were all going to go missing because look how tiny some of those dots are. It's like paint splatters.
It also gives it a little bit of texture when you go
it's got like a 3D. Lovely.
And then, do you have any story or any kind of insight about why this kind of construction, where the two legs? I mean, these are actual connections that hold the leg.
Yeah, every single resistor on some of these other ones. You had to put dummy legs in because 8 legs you might not need 8 resistors, but luckily in this one every single resistor has a function. So everything is a functional circuit, even these legs.
That's a common theme throughout the project.
Yeah.
So every leg has a function. And actually, that's not entirely true.
I was talking about the Monarch. Yeah.
Well, the Monarch, one of them, this one doesn't have a function.
Just because it was dodgy touching the battery.
Yeah, I was concerned that the metal case might touch it and or the battery holder. So this actually doesn't carry anything. So you can see that this is the 8th one. So it's or the 6th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are dummy. But that
And I had to do trickery with this. I had to these resistors just equal 1. So there's 2 in parallel, 2 in series. So it does actually end up being these 4 resistors just equal the same as one of them.
Yeah.
Which is a bit funny and silly, but it makes it work.
Yeah, because you had to go the current going through one resistor and the other and through the other. Yeah,
it's like 2 in parallel, 2 in series. So you end up with the same. Yeah.
And then we had the prototypes, and one of the things we noticed is that when they've done the routing, the routing not of the electronics, but the outside, when you route out the outline of the board, they just leave these little things sticking out, and we've asked them to remove it in the production version.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. And we also had some jumpers there if somebody wanted to connect and some points if somebody wanted to connect the Schmidt triggers that aren't used in the circuit but decided against it because it was too small. It was too dense. And between this one and the final version, we also added a switch, which we should have had originally. I think it's just sometimes you go through it and you forget, and then when you get the boards back, you go, "Oh, really? This needs a switch."
Also, this one's so tight because the big legs take up a lot of space, and so we didn't have
And
enough
you
space
don't
on the body.
and you can't have components on this side. You don't want to have components on this
Yeah.
side, and so on.
And there's a speaker, and speaker takes up the end. That,
And the
you know,
battery,
yeah.
yeah. So you want to talk about the presentation of it? How are people should expect it to come to them?
Yeah, it's going to come. It's a lot like the Monarch, just with its graphics redesigned. And inside, you get the classic, just in its new colours. Nice green. Ooh, yeah. And you get the kits, the components in the static bag, classic, and a sticker.
Yeah. It's, these kind of projects, all the little steps, and we get these these flat, and it always it's quite labor intensive. These projects, but
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
yeah. So and then I think we covered it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, should we show how it's light sensitive?
yeah.
Because crickets change their frequency based upon something. I don't know what it is. Maybe the amount of light or season or something like that. But I thought it'd be quite nice if in brighter light it goes faster, and lower light gets darker. So if you hear this, if we get it more towards the light.
Yeah. No, I heard it.
Oh, temperature is it? Yeah, it's not temperature. It's
No,
light.
this one isn't temperature,
No.
but it's for the
But if
real
you
ones.
wanted
The
to,
temperature.
you could put in a little thermistor, a PTC, or whatever it is.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I'm sure it's modifiable.
Yeah.
But the problem with temperature is that you can't just put
Yeah, I'd have to
something
be
in
going.
it. Yeah,
Oh, it probably is temperature because it's an RC circuit. If you solder it live, it will go faster and slower.
yeah. Don't do that though.
Yeah, I know. I have been soldering it, and after I finished, I haven't let it cool down and plug it in. It goes, it drifts because of the resistors.
I wanted to demonstrate when I was doing pips, but I can't remember why. I was gonna. There's a.
Probably change its frequency just by putting on the radiator.
Yeah, there's a radiator
is-
here, and I thought of doing it, but then I wanted to show the frequency while it's connected to the scope, and I couldn't.
Need a hairdryer.
Yeah, I mean we do downstairs. We have a rework station, but that's too rough of a tool, right? It's got a bit of like a hammer.
It'll probably melt.
Yeah, so.
Probably fall apart.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing I haven't said on this kit, there is one thing that is a bit different. Is we've got one surface mount component because it just wouldn't fit a dip.
Oh, the switch.
No, the chip.
Oh, the chip. Yes.
It's actually SOIC, isn't it? Which isn't too hard to solder anyway. It's the easiest of the surface mount
Yes,
chips.
it's like 1.27
Half
pitch,
that of
right?
a dip.
Millimeter pitch.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it very early on because firstly you don't want holes through the thing, right? And then through to the other side. In the Monarch, I sort of sidestep that by creating this sort of spine.
Yeah.
And the other projects didn't have any ICs in them, so we decided to do that. And I think people, as long as you'll go through that about the order of soldering, I would or solder the chip first, and then maybe this the button the switch last.
Yeah.
Yeah. The switch is also a surface mount, and actually the battery holder is also technically surface mount.
But normally the battery holders are anyway.
Yeah. So I think I want to say two things to end this. This is the project after the Conehead, which is the Cordwood Puzzle 3, which has 3 levels. And while I was away, received the boards, the production boards. This is a prototype. The LEDs are going to be green. And yeah, I was gonna, once we finish with the videos today, I'm gonna try to build them and see if they work. And
switch to the.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Right. And then the last thing, I'm going to send an email to all members after we finish the next video, or Ben's video, with putting it all together, and we're gonna have a discount code for the rest of the series. So if you wanted to buy the older ones in the series, there's an incentive to do that.
They're all in stock, aren't they?
Yeah. The one that has the lowest stock, and I think it's in the order of about 20 or something, is the Monarch.
It's very popular.
And but the others are in stock. There's not going to be a lot of stock of the Conehead left. I haven't decided if the Conehead is going to be part of the thing, but I think part of the discount. But I think it will be. So it's a chance to get them. And of course, if you're not a member and you want the Conehead, you need to sign up before the end of the 9th London time. So I think that's Sunday.
Yeah, basically end of the week.
Yeah, and get then you'd be able to use the code in the shop, because the code will only be available for people who are current members. And the shop has that restriction. And oh yeah, the meetup. We have a meetup next Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Don't know.
Shit, I got
during the week.
Don't remember. I think it's on the 12th.
It's on the Twitter. It's on the Slack channel.
Yeah.
There's a poster for it.
Yes, so there's an invitation.
It's got the little
Conehead
gent on it.
Well, the Conehead wasn't ready for me to.
No.
And I think it is the 12th. It's a Tuesday. Anyway, look on Twitter or Slack or.
Do you want me to look it up now?
No, that's fine.
Right.
And so next week we have a meetup in London, near London Bridge, and hope to see as many of you as possible. And I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Ben's going to do another video in a little while.
About an hour.
Building the Conehead.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.